Getting back together, Ryan Poston made it clear that he would be emotionally unavailable to her. At one point in March of 2011, Shayna wants to come visit Ryan, have sex, tells her, if she comes up, please just don't talk to me. Please just don't talk to me. And she goes up there, actually goes to see him. That kind of intro. This particular visit turns out to be bad. Ryan is very aggressive with her, scared her, tells her that she's crazy, deranged, and then Shayna sends dozens and dozens of texts to him. And you'll see that. Sometimes there'll be dozens and dozens of texts to try and cope with what he's telling her. Because she doesn't understand why and what Ryan is doing to her. In fact, over the next few weeks, she starts to realize in this breakup, and she in fact makes a therapy. She goes once. Only once. In April 2012, Shayna goes up to the condo. There's an intense argument. Ryan attacks her and physically picks her up and throws her out in the hallway. Now, heard about Mr. Poston leaving his law firm. When he did this, that was a source of great conflict between he and his former employer. And it was a source of extreme stress on Mr. Poston during the summer and into the fall of 2012. It took an incredible toll on him, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially. He loses weight, warns Ms. Hubers that he's trying to start fights in bars. His personality changes. He becomes more dark and aggressive. Now, into July, there's a gap in their relationship, although they're communicative. There's a gap from really April 12 into early July 2000. They start seeing each other again. But it's with conditions. Very clearly. He wants sex from her to relieve his stress. She cannot ask how his day was. He needs to go days at a time without speaking to her. She needs to talk 25% less. And she agrees to those conditions. She gets there. Mr. Poston is there. He is in a very dark mood. He is very upset. Not too long after she arrives, he lights into her verbally, critical of everything there is to be critical of her about. Her mother, her family, her education, where she's from, her appearance. Vile comments to her. Verbal assault. No other way to describe it. verbal assault. He's upset that her mother's been there. And she doesn't understand. She has just been to his parents' home less than 24 hours before. She doesn't understand what he wants from her. He goes to his room. Her purse and keys are in that room. She tries the door. It is locked. She Googles about how to get into the door of the apartment. She approaches the door and he opens it and he comes out, and you will hear about how he looked. How his eyes were frightening, scary, dark. Burst out the door and physically attacks her. First slams her arm into the door, physically attacks her. Now, this is not an attack where he's taking his hand and beating on her. This is an attack where he is throwing her around onto a couch or a carpeted floor. It's not beating her with a baseball bat. This is physical control of her and throwing her around. She ends up on the other side of the table, which you will see in this courtroom. She sees his arm moving across the table towards a gun on the table. You'll hear that Mr. Poston had lots of guns throughout the course of this relationship. Okay? That guns were readily available to him, and that this gun was right there. And she picks it up and she starts shooting. And she ends up shooting 6 times. And he's killed. No question about it. Tragic. After that, she does what any normal 21-year-old, remember at this time, she's only 21 years old. Any 21-year-old young woman would do. She calls her mother. She calls her mother. There's nothing sinister about that. She calls her mother. Tells her mother what happened. Her mother tells her, well, it has to be self-defense. Tell them that. Tell them the truth. It has to be self-defense.